Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday to everybody who has joined me for this morning's live stream. If you're catching this on the replay, thank you to you as well. Hashtag replay gang continues to come through strong. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If this is your first time here, definitely hit the subscribe button. Guys, we've got a real shot, a real chance here at going for that goal, 3,000 subscribers by January 1st. Excuse me. 3,000 subscribers by January 1st, guys. It's within reach. I thought it was kind of a far-fetched goal. I didn't think it was possible, but you guys are proving otherwise. You are showing tremendous support by subscribing to the channel, by showing up here every morning, dropping likes on these live streams. And we are less than 100 subscribers away from reaching that goal. That gives us about 3 weeks in the month of December to get there. And with your help, I think we can absolutely do it. So thank you so much for your continued support. We passed 2,900 subscribers recently, and I couldn't have done it without all of you. So thank you so very much. Good morning to everybody out there joining me this morning on YouTube. George, good to see you back again. I am trash and Roblox is back again. Says he waits for these streams every morning. Well, I'm glad that you have something to look forward to every morning. We go live each morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Heck, I might even pop in on a Saturday like I did last Saturday and do a surprise stream for you. But yes, I'm glad that you're enjoying these and that the content is up to par and you keep coming back for more. That's a good sign. Color Hype says, good feeling about today. I love the positive energy, the positive vibes that you're already dropping into the chat this morning. It's Tuesday. We don't have a lot of NBA games to talk about, just 3 games on tonight's slate, but I think there might be some plays that we can kind of explore together. So we'll definitely get into that in just a moment. CM Morris is back in here. He says, smash the like button. I couldn't agree with you more, Mr. Morris. Thank you so much for reminding everybody that those likes mean a lot to me. And that it kind of lets me know that you guys are liking what I'm putting down here every day. So thank you so much for that. Dave is in here. Let's stay hot. Yes, it was a hot night. If you're in the Patreon community, if you're in the Discord, we had a very good night. A lot of people I saw ended up over in the Winner's Circle channel, which is where you go when you post those winning lineups on winning entries on PrizePicks. So I saw a lot of folks over in the Winner's Circle last night. OTD says, I can't believe DeRozan didn't play yesterday. Yeah, a lot of crazy news yesterday that kind of screwed things up. Osmosis Jones, Prop God Curry, we in this thing. Let's cook. We're definitely going to cook. Chef Curry is in the building to help you out with your favorite player props this morning. Dave, good morning to you. Kong picked all the assist player props yesterday and hit. Well, guess what? I picked all free throw props. I did a 5-pick flex entry on PrizePicks. All free throw makes. I took overs on all of them, and I went 5 for 5. Technically, I went 6 for 6 because Anthony Edwards, I called him at 2 free throw makes before the injury news was announced for D'Angelo Russell. I said, take the over, take the over. I told everybody in the Patreon Discord, I said, smash the over on Anthony Edwards in this matchup on 2 free throw makes. Well, they ended up taking him down. They put him back up at 3 free throw makes. The guy still covered the 3 free throw makes. So free throws absolutely smashed for me last night. Hit for a 10x payout. So that was a great time. Good to see Reggie up in here. Today is a good day to win some money. Couldn't agree with you more, Mr. Reggie. We definitely have to be on the lookout today. PrizePicks will be running their Taco Tuesday promos throughout the day, so keep an eye out on those. That's a very good point that you guys are bringing up. Taylor is liking the Patreon so far. He says the picks be on point. I won money 2 days in a row. It only cost $20 a month, and I made that back times 20 already. I mean, yeah, technically, all you have to do is win one $10 two-pick power play entry over on PrizePicks, right? And that's a triple up on your money, and then Patreon's paid for. And then you could go on about your day building up some profits for the rest of the month. So you got an entire month to hit a two-pick $10 power play on PrizePicks. I think it's definitely doable, right? My man Shy's up in here. Yo, yo, yo. What a night, my boy. Small slate, though, tonight. We got to find those diamonds in the rough. Absolutely. Going to have to do some deep dives, some searching on a 3-game slate. There's less places for us to look. So we're going to definitely have to try and uncover some value. Maybe we go to a different sport. Maybe we take a look at some NHL. We've got some soccer going on, some proper footy for all of you out there. Anthony says, good morning, and what a night yesterday. Glad to hear it, Anthony. Boston's back here this morning. Play light today, just 3 games. I kind of agree with that. I think we play a little lighter today. George says, almost had a win last night. Jarrett Allen rebounds. Yeah, Jarrett Allen's points ended up doing well. I don't think his rebounds did quite as well. Jen says, good morning, y'all. Let's get this money. If you're not on my Patreon, Curry's Patreon yet, please sign up. It's so worth it. Not only is it worth it, but it's also a way for you to help support what I do here every single morning. So if you're looking for a good group of folks who are really serious about playing PrizePicks, there are no secrets. There are no cheat codes. There are no shortcuts. I mean, we put the work in. We put the research in. I think everybody in Discord can attest to that. I think everybody on Patreon can attest to that. I definitely try to put the work in as much as I possibly can. We dive deep on fantasy points, on single stat player props. We're looking at matchups. We're talking strategy. We're voting on community picks. And last night's community pick actually ended up hitting. We had Domantas Sabonis going over points. Shout out to Taylor for that pick. And we also liked Franz Wagner, who we talked about and highlighted in yesterday's show. Franz Wagner over 2.5 assists. I think he ended up getting the job done before halftime, kind of like I said he would, right? So Franz Wagner definitely ended up helping us cash that 2-pick power play that the community voted on. Basically, I uploaded 6 different picks on Patreon. We took a community vote, and the community voted for 2 winners, Sabonis over points and Franz Wagner over 2.5 assists. So shout out to the community. If you tailed those picks and you're in our Patreon, well, you made money last night. At least I think you did. You had at least one winning entry overall. So Pick'em says, would have hit a 10x, but Stewart was half a rebound short. I was also on Isaiah Stewart over 9.5 rebounds. He got stuck in the mud at just 9 rebounds in a opportune matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Isaiah Beef Stew Stewart. The beef stew wasn't any good last night, guys. It wasn't any good last night. Eric says, Lonzo's assist and Jokic points were flops last night. Yeah, I really expected Nikola Jokic to do a little bit better than he did in terms of the scoring, but hey, such is life. Nothing is guaranteed in this player prop game. We have to have short-term memories. We have to put the past in the past and look forward to today. So definitely liking what you guys are talking about in here. Anthony says, Tony PR18 in Discord. All right, I'll keep an eye out on you. Thank you for your support this month, Tony. Appreciate you being a part of Patreon. Appreciate you being in the Discord. Love seeing you in there. Ronald's Green, what's up to you, my friend? Remy's in here this morning as well. Cash last night. Patreon was on fire. Good luck, everyone. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, Remy. I'm glad that we were able to find some profits last night. Jay says 5 for 5 power play. I think he means 5 for 5 flex play for $2,000 last night. Ended up hitting 2 G's. That's a huge hit. Jeremy, we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you tuning in and leaving those comments, my friend. Bobby says he went up $250 last night. Let's get to it again today. Love it. Wiggy says, what's up? Happy Taco Tuesday. NBA was great last night. NBA was awesome last night. Zinger, good morning to you. Craig, good morning again. Too Far Gone, good morning to you. Let's get it tonight. Oh, look at that. We got more props being uploaded on PrizePicks as we wait. Whew. What do they do on Taco Tuesday? Well, they do a lot of different discounts. They'll usually take a couple of different player props, I don't know, 2 or 3 per Taco Tuesday, and they go ahead and discount those props for you, giving you a little bit more value on the PrizePicks board today. New Oasis says he hit a 5 out of 5 second half late. Well, that's good to hit that Hail Mary late night tip. Jeremy wants to play some Halo later on. Yeah, we could definitely get on some Halo Infinite later on, Jeremy. Appreciate you reminding me about that. Blue Samples, I've come up $650 with your help and the Discord. Love to hear that, Blue. We play today, we win today. Mo, Fire Pro, loving the energy there. MF June, I'm up, I made it. Good morning to the prop god. Well, I'm not the prop god, I'm just a prop man, I guess you could say. But maybe one day I will ascend to greater heights and be worthy of that title. But good morning to you, Hayden Wesley. What's up, man? Good to see you. Longtime Patreon, Discord supporter, YouTube supporter. Wes is in the building. Blue says, your help, the Discord, and my own thoughts. So thank you very much, man. Love it, love it, love it. Dave says, will you do a live stream on Sunday for NFL games? I keep getting these requests, and I've done them in the past. I haven't done one recently or lately, but that could be something that we could line up for the future. So just 3 games today, guys. I'm going through, lots of chat talk here, talking about last night, seeing a lot of people winning, including you, Alan. Good morning. Won $400 yesterday on a second half play. Love to hear that. What is Patreon? Jaden, Patreon is a way for you to support me as a content creator, and in turn, I give back. We have an exclusive PrizePicks, prop pick Patreon community over on Discord. I post every single day, try to put you on some winning plays. They don't always work out. Listen, I don't have the secret to success. There's no secret recipe or sauce here. I do put in the research though, and I do stand behind all my picks. I put them up on Patreon every day. Like I said, we win more than we lose, but we're not going to win them all, right? So that's kind of an idea of what Patreon is. A way for you to support, way for you to be in a community of other like-minded individuals. If you're interested in it, there's a link down in the description below. Richard says, someone give me some good picks for tonight. Well, we're going to get down to business here shortly, Richard, and hopefully we land on those good picks. DFS Whispers, what's up to you? DFS Whispers in the house. Good to see it. Mr. Pringle, y'all wouldn't believe how much money I won yesterday because of CJ. Well, I'm hoping that you still have your house, Mr. Pringle. I'm hoping that $100,000 has returned to your bank account. You are a clown, but I love it. Clowns make me laugh. And I mean that in a good way, not, a disparaging way. I like clowns. I just do. Dave says, I like Westbrook under 8.5 boards. All right, we'll get to the plays. Nick says, shout out to Patreon. Good two-way last night. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Lots of shout outs, lots of love. Appreciate all that. Let's go ahead and start looking at today's slate. I'll try to get back around to some comments and some chat conversation later. But we got 3 games to talk about. So we got the Brooklyn Nets at the Dallas Mavericks here. This game tips off at 7:30 p.m. No Kyrie Irving, no Joe Harris for Brooklyn. For the Dallas side, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, and Tim Hardaway Jr. All game time decisions. So please keep an eye out on the injury news from this game. If those 3 guys don't go, then it's going to definitely be a blowout. Brooklyn should run away with this game. Pretty easy peasy. At 8:30 p.m., the New York Knicks at the San Antonio Spurs. We got Kemba Walker, who's out, but he's out due to just being out of the rotation for New York. It's been the Alec Burks show here lately. Kemba not in the mix for the New York Knicks. Bars. For the San Antonio Spurs, Vassell looks like about the most impactful injury news. And then at 10 p.m., we've got a good little game here. 2 of the most prestigious, historic franchises in NBA history, the Boston Celtics at the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. We've got Jaylen Brown as a game time decision for the Boston Celtics. Over on the Lakers side, Carmelo Anthony, Avery Bradley, both game time decisions. Probably the 2 most impactful pieces of injury news from that one. But that's it, guys. 3 games. Not a lot to talk about. Now, one of our members last night in Patreon was kind enough to go ahead and say, listen, we win tonight, I'm going to go ahead and hook 2 people up with free access to Patreon for the rest of this month of December. So I said, all right, that's cool. I can get down with that. It's the season of giving, right? We're in the month of December. Christmas is right around the corner. So here's what we're going to do. If you're interested in joining Patreon, I've got $40 basically. That covers 2 of you. 2 free entries into the Patreon community. Get you access to the Patreon posts every day. Get you access to the private Discord channels for the rest of the month of December. I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give 2 of you out there who are not currently patrons of mine access to Patreon for the rest of the month. Here's what you need to do. You need to make sure you're in Discord. You can join the Discord down in the link below. Shoot me a DM if you're interested in joining. All right. Once I've gathered up all the DMs, I'll put all your names into a randomizer, and I will pick the top 2 that come out, and we'll hook you up. We'll get you free access to Patreon, $20 value, possibly worth a lot more if you win money as a member of the Patreon community. But we'll get you set up, okay? We'll do that for you. We'll do it for free, and we'll make it happen. Shout out to Who Dat in our Discord community for making this possible, for making this happen. I told him I would announce it here this morning. So there you go. 2 of you, 2 lucky people will join the Discord down in the link in the description below. Shoot me a DM on Discord, and then I will put your names in a randomizer. We'll pick the top 2 names, and we'll get you access to Patreon. All right? All right. I think that's a good way to give back after the winning night that we had last night. All right, let's get into some player prop talk, guys. And for our research, obviously, if you've never been here before, this is props.cash. This is my go-to tool. This is my Swiss Army knife for all things player props. We're talking NBA, we're talking NFL, we're talking NHL, all right? It covers all of those different sports, $19.99 a month. Let's go ahead, log in right now. And if you want to join props.cash, there's a link down in the description below for you to check it out. Let's get it. First thing I like to do is take this NBA player prop trends page. I like to switch it up. Instead of looking at the full season, I want a more recent sample size. So I switch it over to the last 10 games, and I start by looking at those. So we got a number of names here. Short slate, obviously, so we don't have a ton of names, but look at Russell Westbrook at 17.5 points in his last 10 games and 80% hit rate. So that means out of the last 10, he's covered this prop in 8 out of 10. We've got him at 17.5 today, facing off against the Boston Celtics. Now, if we look at his last 5 games, he's actually gone 4 out of 5 in his last 5. He does have a little bit of a bad game there against the Los Angeles Clippers, where he scores just 10 points. And that is my favorite time to go back to a player prop, when it's coming off of a letdown, a dud, a flop. And that is exactly what happened to Russell Westbrook there against the Los Angeles Clippers. So let's take a look at Russ today. I think one of you have already mentioned him in the chat this morning, so I think this is a good starting point for us to begin some player prop research. Russell Westbrook, 17.5 points. He's averaging 20.3 points per game this season, 22 in his last 10, and 21.4 in his last 5. So all 3 of his averages are above 17.5. No problem there. He's also a betting favorite to go over 17.5 points, minus 116, meaning that the folks out there on your favorite sports books are slapping their cold, hard cash down on the over on Russell Westbrook at 17.5 points. Now let's take a look at this matchup versus Boston. All right, these games were from last season. He wasn't a member of the Lakers at that point, but you could see 12 points, 13 points, 24 and 20. So he splits at covering 17.5 points, goes under in the first 2 games, over in the next 2 games. So 50% hit rate there. But let's look at this season. He had 12 points against Boston back on November 19th. That was just like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. So he falls short there against Boston with just 12 points. A little bit of concern. Looking at this matchup here, it does look like a pretty friendly matchup for Russell Westbrook. Celtics ranked 15th in terms of points allowed, 6th in field goal percentage, 18th in three-point shots allowed, 13th in three-point field goal percentage allowed, 26th in free throws allowed. So I talked about liking the free throw props last night. I went 6 for 6 on all my free throw prop plays. Guess how I did my research? I used props.cash. All I did was, once PrizePicks uploaded the free throw props on the board, I came right over here to props.cash. I clicked on a player's name. In this case, it would be Russell Westbrook. And I scrolled down. I looked at the defensive matchup. I said, well, how many free throws, or where does this team rank in terms of free throws allowed per game? And I went right down here to this section. And in this case, the Boston Celtics ranks 26th in free throws allowed. So if we see any Lakers players up on the board for free throw makes tonight, you might want to go ahead, take one of them, smash the over, as the Celtics do give up quite a few free throws to opposing teams and players. And then finally, the Celtics rank 24th in point guard defense. Now looking at this game, a pretty healthy total here, 220 plus points implied, with the Lakers as 2-point favorites at home. So this game does have a high total. It looks like it's going to stay close and competitive according to Vegas lines makers as well. Russell Westbrook's been getting about 40 minutes per game in the last 5 games. Would love to see that continue. A lot of that is being juiced up here by this game against Sacramento. He played 51 minutes, guys. I don't expect him to do that tonight, but seeing him up there around 40 minutes would be awesome. Field goal attempts looking pretty healthy too, getting about 15 to 16 attempts per game. When he last met Boston, 13 attempts, so hopefully that number goes up. And then you kind of get an idea at the 3-point attempts for Russ. Doesn't take a whole lot, 3 to 4 per game. Here's where he shines though. His free throw attempts are pretty healthy. I don't know if we'll see him up on the board, but if we do, I would like to take some overs on Russell Westbrook and his free throw attempts, as he does get to the line pretty well. Alrighty, I think that pretty much covers it for him. Let's get you a projection here on Russell Westbrook, and for that, we're going to be looking at Action Labs, which is part of Fantasy Labs, or you can get Action Labs on its own. We've got Russell Westbrook projected today for nearly 22 points, so they really, really like the over on Russ at 17.5. I think we go back to it, coming off of a bad game against the Clippers. He struggled a little bit against Boston historically in recent games, but he's showing great form here in his last 5 games. Pretty good form in his last 10 as well. So I'd probably be leaning toward the over on Russell Westbrook tonight. We got a sticker here from Alexander. Appreciate that sticker, my friend. He says, nope. Does that nope mean no to Russell Westbrook? No to Russell Westbrook over points? Are you saying no to that? What does that sticker mean? Let's figure it out. You tell me, Alexander. Elaborate on that sticker. I appreciate the sticker, though. Appreciate that little donation there. Anthony Davis, also another guy at 22.5 points, 70% hit rate. We got AD up at 22.5 on PrizePicks today. Looking at the last 5 games here, guys. He's gone over 22.5 in 4 straight, so that's an 80% hit rate in his last 5. 70% hit rate in his last 10, but he is a betting favorite to go under at 22.5. So probably going to like Russell Westbrook maybe a little bit more than Anthony Davis. Patty Mills is another guy possibly worth considering at 12.5 points. Looking at a 60% hit rate on Patty Mills. He's facing the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Minus 128 to go over 12.5 points. Looking at his game logs, they've been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. He went over against Boston with 23, falls short with 9 and 10, 23 against Minnesota, 12 against Chicago. So I don't know. For me, it's looking a little too shaky, a little too volatile for me to go there with Patty Mills tonight. Jason Tatum, 27.5 points, 60% hit rate on him. Currently a minus 118 to go over. At 26.5 points, though, we're getting a 1-point value here on PrizePicks. So looking at his last 5 games, he's only covered this prop in 2 out of 5. So maybe that's why PrizePicks is putting his number down at 26.5 instead of 27.5. Last 2 games have been good here for Jason Tatum, though. 37 against a tough Utah Jazz team. 31 in an easier matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers. So Jason Tatum could be an option here. We're getting a little bit of value on him. Let's take a look and see how he's done here in the rest of the season in terms of scoring the basketball. So we'll type his name in. We'll fire him up. The bettors are putting their money on the under at 27.5, but we're getting him at 26.5. So let's bump him down to 26.5 here. The hit rate in the last 10 games stays the same at 60%. You can take a look at his averages here thanks to props.cash, 25.2 points per game this season. And his last 10, things get better, 27.5 points, 25.2 points in the last 5 games. But here's where things brighten up for Jason Tatum. 37 points versus the Los Angeles Lakers. He faced them right here back on November 19th. So that was just a couple weeks ago. Dropped 37 points. I think this guy gets hyped and motivated when he gets to go against LeBron James. If I'm not mistaken, maybe you guys can correct me. I believe he grew up as a big-time LeBron James fan. I think he's from the St. Louis, right? I think I got my facts correct about Jason Tatum, but I seem to remember him being a big LeBron James stan growing up. I think this dude plays with a chip on his shoulder anytime he gets to go against King James. So moving it down here, the Los Angeles Lakers defense, 29th in points allowed. Really soft matchup here for Tatum. 18th in field goal percentage allowed, 22 in three-pointers allowed, 15 in three-point field goal percentage allowed. 29th in free throws allowed. If we get Jason Tatum's free throw prop up tonight, you're facing the team that allows the second most amount of free throws per game. Strongly consider taking the over on Jason Tatum's free throws. In terms of power forward defense, that's what they label Jason Tatum as a power forward. I think he's more of a small forward for Boston, but tomato, they rank 25th in terms of guarding opposing power forwards. We like the total on this game. We already talked about it, 220 plus points with a 2-point spread. Should stay close and competitive and be high scoring. He's getting about 37 minutes per game in his last 5 games. Going down here, looking at the field goal attempts, those are healthy too. Gets 20 plus shot attempts. The last time he played the Lakers, dude shot the ball 26 times. If he gets 26 attempts tonight, he's definitely going to go over 26.5 points. Because you mix in the 3-point shots that he gets, the free throw attempts that he gets. Look at this guy. He lives at the free throw line, getting 7 plus free throws per game. So definitely going to be smashing the over on some Jason Tatum free throw props if they're up on the board later. Enough about him. You can tell I kind of like this prop, especially with the 1-point value that we get on PrizePicks at just 26.5. We look at the projections provided by Action Labs, part of the Action Network. 27.6 projected points. So that puts him over 26.5 today. I think it's a pretty good spot here. We go back to Jason Tatum against a pretty squishy, soft Los Angeles Lakers defense. I don't mind it. Don't mind it whatsoever. All right, so those are some of your high hit rate guys. Let's scroll down here. Short list today. Small slate of games. We got James Harden at 21.5 points, 40% hit rate and covering that. Do I feel comfortable going under on James Harden? Never. I never feel comfortable going under on just 21.5 points on a guy of James Harden's caliber. We know he's got 34-point upside, right? He did that against the New York Knicks just a couple games back. Now, maybe he takes on more of an assist role here. Maybe he takes a back seat and Kevin Durant is the guy that steps up and scores all the buckets tonight. Durant's definitely been scoring more than Harden, more of a consistent scorer in terms of his last 5 games, has gone over in 3 out of 5. So 60% hit rate, came darn close here against the New York Knicks with 27, 21 against Boston. So yeah, it's been kind of James Harden as the setup man, Kevin Durant as the guy who's scoring the basketball. Other low hit rate guys, though. LeBron James, 24.5 points, just a 50% hit rate. He's a -112 to go under. We also got Al Horford, Big Al, up at 12.5 points, a 50% hit rate there. -114 to go over, though. I'm not really interested probably in playing any of those guys, quite frankly, though. I think that's going to do it for points. Let's flip it on over to rebounds, and we'll take a look at who your top rebounders are, who your bottom rebounders are, guys who are getting it done, guys who aren't. Appreciate everyone who's joining us this morning. If you weren't here at the beginning of the show, we haven't really talked a whole lot of props just yet. We just finished up with points. I think Russell Westbrook kind of stood out to me so far. You could look Anthony Davis's way. That might be a good look. And Jason Tatum was another guy who caught my attention. So we'll have to see how things go. Yeah, but I want to say that maybe I'm wrong here, but I believe Jason Tatum's cousin is Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes was once a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, played with LeBron James at one point. Am I wrong on this? Maybe my facts are off. Maybe I'm wrong. And I thought that there was some sort of connection there with his cousin being Larry Hughes, playing in Cleveland with LeBron, and somehow he was a LeBron James fan. Double check me, though. I could be wrong, but I do have a memory like an elephant. So I might be right, too. Let's look at some rebounds. Jason Tatum at 7.5 boards. Listen, low-key, this guy has been board man. Yeah, that's him. 7.5 rebounds in his last 5 games. He's covered this in 3 out of 5. That's a 60% hit rate. Look, when he covers, he really, really covers. 13 against the Spurs, 16 against Philly, 10 against Portland. Some of these games where he's come up short, Toronto with 7, almost got there, but almost doesn't count, in the words of Brandy Norwood. 6 rebounds against the Utah Jazz. Utah, tough team to rebound against, so I don't blame him for going under there. If we look at some of these other numbers on Jason Tatum, the 70% hit rate looking really good, though. -115 over at 7.5. So let's take a look at Tatum. Maybe you don't like the points as much. Maybe you want to go Jason Tatum rebounds instead of points. That could also be a good play. At 7.5 boards, we talked about the 70% hit rate. 8.8 rebounds over the course of the season, 9.3 in his last 10. The number is just going up here on these rebounds. 10.2 rebounds in his last 5 games. Things are trending upwards here for Jason Tatum in terms of rebounding. Now, some of these averages are being inflated by games like this one against Philly, where he had 16 big boards, 12 against San Antonio, 11 against the Lakers the last time they met. So not only did he score the basketball really well against Los Angeles, he also had 11 rebounds against the Lakers. So again, if you don't like the points on Jason Tatum, if you think 26.5 is going to be tough for him to cover, maybe you look at the 7.5 rebounds and you take those. Going down here, I'm seeing a lot of green in terms of rebounding for the Los Angeles Lakers. They rank 26th in total rebounds allowed, giving up over 47, nearly 48 rebounds per game. 28 offensive rebounds allowed. They rank 26th in defensive rebounds allowed, over 36 defensive rebounds allowed. And we already talked about 25th in power forward defense. So you could definitely go to some Jason Tatum rebounds in this matchup. It's looking quite juicy. Switching it up here on Action Labs, pulling a projection up for Jason Tatum's boards. They got him going for 8.2 rebounds. He's a betting favorite to go over 7.5 rebounds. He's covered this prop in 70% of his last 10 games, and he covered it against the Lakers, hitting double-digit rebounds when they last met. So there you go. Maybe you don't like the points. Go to the rebounds. Speaking of rebounds, Jakob Poeltl came through for me last night. I wrote him up on Patreon. He was at 9 rebounds facing off against the Phoenix Suns. My boy only came through with 11 big rebounds. I'm just saying. Against DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns, pulled it off in a good matchup. 11 boards for Jakob Poeltl. Can he run it back tonight, though? That is the big question. They've got him projected for 9.8 rebounds. He is a betting favorite at 9.5 boards going against the New York Knicks. I want to say that in recent games, or at least in this season, going against the Knicks, it's been a good spot for most of these big guys. So maybe Jakob Poeltl gets it done once again. You could see in his last 5 games has gone for 9 or more rebounds in 5 straight games. He's going to need 10 tonight, though. His number has been bumped up. He was at 8.5 yesterday, 9 on PrizePicks. Now he's at 9.5. So if you're wanting to attack the Poeltl, well, it might be tough for him to get the job done at 9.5. But let's look at this matchup here against this New York Knicks team real quick, because this dude does get some boards. He definitely does get some rebounds. I want to see the matchup, though. The New York Knicks, in terms of total rebounds allowed, they rank 16th, 22 in offensive rebounds allowed. Now, the Suns last night, they're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams as well, one of the most giving. And Poeltl definitely feasted on them. And then they rank 15th in defensive rebounds allowed. So let's go and look last night. My boy had 3 offensive rebounds against the Suns to make up the 11 total rebounds. So 3 of those boards were offensive, 11 total rebounds. Maybe he can end up running it back again tonight. Do we have any previous matchups against the Knicks? We do. He faced the Knicks 2 times last season. This was last season. 8 rebounds against New York in the first meeting, 9 against New York in the second meeting. So maybe he doesn't quite get it done tonight. I think 9.5 might be a little bit too rich. Scares me off of him just a little bit. I wish he was at 8.5. So I might be fading this dude tonight. Let's go back to the trends, though. Who else has been hitting? We got Al Horford at just 6.5 rebounds. He's a betting favorite at minus 120 to go over. Let's take a look at Big Al here. He's only covered this prop 40% of the time in his last 5 games. So despite the 60% hit rate in the last 10, it's been a little more difficult here in the last 5, just a 20% hit rate. 40% hit rate, excuse me. So 60% in the last 10, 40% in the last 5. Let's take a look at the matchup here for Al Horford. We already talked about liking Jason Tatum in this spot. Maybe we like Al Horford in this spot too. We could go take a look and see how he did against LA in their last meeting. So we already know that the defensive metrics looking pretty good here in terms of rebounding. This is definitely a plus rebound spot. But look at this. Against the Lakers this season, these 2 are from last season. He had 5 against LA, fall short there, 8 against LA in that one. But here in the previous matchup, just a couple weeks back, he only had 4 rebounds. So Tatum was snatching all the boards up. Al Horford did not eat in that game, ended up going under. So I would probably fade Al Horford, take a stab at Jason Tatum. Maybe he ends up kind of running it back here. All right, going back to the trends page on props.cash, Patty Mills at 1.5 boards. Is he even up on the board at that number? No, he's not. LaMarcus Aldridge, 6.5 rebounds, 50% hit rate, minus 128. Maybe LaMarcus Aldridge is a good spot. We have been taking opposing big men versus the Dallas Mavericks all season long, and it's been working out, at least for me. But LaMarcus Aldridge, not a high volume rebounder anymore, kind of falling down a little bit in terms of rebounds, but at 6.5, he's covered this in 2 out of his last 5 games. This would be purely a matchup spot here. His hit rates don't look particularly juicy or anything. I'll pull up a projection for you on Mr. Aldridge, and then we can kind of move on. He's at 6.9 projected boards, so almost 7 rebounds according to Action Labs. And he's a minus 135 on some sports books, minus 125 on other sports books. So maybe you look LaMarcus Aldridge's way and pull some rebounds there for LMA. Looking at the center position, we can use this little chart here on Fantasy Pros. This is completely free for you to access. If we go to the center position, which is kind of what LaMarcus Aldridge is for this New Jersey Nets. Now, for this Brooklyn Nets squad, Dallas Mavericks giving up the 4th most rebounds to opposing centers, over 17 rebounds per game allowed to big men. So definitely on my radar tonight is LaMarcus Aldridge. I know the hit rates and stuff look pretty ugly for the guy, but you got to play those matchups when you get them, and this one does look like a very friendly matchup. In terms of low hit rates, we got Russell Westbrook at 7.5 boards, just a 30% hit rate, but they like him to go over tonight. He's a betting favorite at minus 112. Looking at his last 5 games, he's only covered this prop in 1 out of 5. Probably not going to be a play for me. LeBron James at 6.5 rebounds against Boston. Just a 30% hit rate. They are betting the under at minus 122. And in his last 5 games, he's only covered this prop in 2 out of 5, just a 40% hit rate. So maybe you look LeBron James's way. We could pull a projection up for you on LeBron James and see what Action Labs thinks. They've got him at 7.1 boards. So despite people taking the under, betting the under, they like the over on LeBron James in terms of their projections. Marcus Smart, 3.5 rebounds, just a 30% hit rate, minus 134 to go over. And Anthony Davis at 9.5 boards, just a 40% hit rate, betting favorite to go under. All right, that's it. We've talked enough about rebounds. Let's flip it over to assists. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in this morning. Lots of folks up in the chat. Hopefully you've already done your duty by hitting that like button. Let me know that you're liking what I'm doing here for you this morning. I appreciate all your support. Like I said, we're on our way. We have a very real chance, a real shot here. We need about 33 subs per week for the next 3 weeks, and we will get over 3,000 subscribers. That was the goal, the long-term goal that I threw out there. I thought maybe it wasn't going to be possible, but it seems like with your support, we're getting there. We're going to get it done. I think we're going to get it done. All right, so let's take a look at some of the top dime droppers here. We got Russell Westbrook leading the way at 7.5 assists. He's sporting a 70% hit rate, a minus 114 to go over. Wow, we're up to 166 viewers. That might be an all-time high, Kevin. That might be an all-time high. Russell Westbrook at 7.5 assists. If you look at his last 5 games, looking pretty good here for the most part. 60% hit rate in his last 5. So doing a decent job at covering 7.5 dimes. We talked about at the top of the show, we like Russell Westbrook's points at just 17.5, but maybe his assists are an alternative to the points. Maybe you make 2 different entries. You play one where you like his points over, and then you play another one where you like his assists over, just to kind of hedge your bets a little bit so you're not 100% exposed to a player's single stat player prop. Just a different way to think about how you should construct your entries. Russell Westbrook, though, 70% hit rate, minus 114 to go over. So let's take a look at this prop for Russ. See if maybe we like his assist a little bit more than his points. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe we just stick to our guns and we stick to those points. In his last 10 games, 70% hit rate, 8.6 assists per game, 8.9 in his last 10, and 8 assists in his last 5. So all 3 of his averages are all above 7.5. So things are looking pretty promising here so far. If we look at his matchups against Boston, he's got 5 previous games in his game log. Now, 4 out of the 5 were from last season when he was a member of the Washington Wizards. So we take that with a grain of salt. Don't put too much stock into what happened last year when he was on a completely different team. But We do have one game from this year back on November 19th. He drops 6 dimes, falls just short against Boston, missing the mark by about 2 assists. So he did go under. He went under 7.5 assists in that one. Looking at this matchup, though, the Boston Celtics are a pretty stingy team. They're a tough team to assist on. They rank 3rd overall, 3rd most difficult team to rack up assists on, giving up just over 21 assists per game. We won't beat this to death. We've already talked about loving the total, loving the spread here. Going up and getting you a projection, though, is the next move. And for that, we're back on Action Labs to pull that projection up for you. They've got Russell Westbrook projected for 11.2 assists. That seems a little bit high. Definitely double check, cross-reference this assist prop. Go out there, check NumberFire, check RotoWire, check Betting Pros. There's some sites out there that are free that offer projections. See how they stack up. See how they line up on this 11.2 assist number. This seems awfully high. Can he do it? I mean, yeah, he could definitely do it. He had 11 against Sacramento at one point. I just don't know if he's going to do it tonight against a team that's difficult to rack up assists upon. So, pretty big projection, though. 11.2 versus 7.5 over on PrizePicks. Thank you, Action Labs, for those projections. Other high hit rate guys in terms of assists. Anthony Davis at 2.5 seems pretty doable, right? 2.5 assists in his last 5 games, an 80% hit rate in his last 5 games. So maybe he'll get some assists tonight against this Boston Celtics squad. We talked about them being a difficult team to get assists on. Let's get you a projection here on Anthony Davis. Oh, spell his name right. 3.3 assists. So they do like the over on Anthony Davis. Maybe he's a safer way to play these assist props at just 2.5. Maybe Russ at 7.5, a little bit more difficult. But both of these guys are projected to go over their assist prop today. Other guys with high hit rates, Marcus Smart, 5.5. I liked him better when he was down there at like 4.5. But I mean, 5.5, he's fallen short in 2 straight games. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with Marcus Smart lately. I want to dig into this one a little bit further. Maybe this is a spot where a guy's been struggling and we go right back to it and we catch him in a rebound or a bounce back situation. Let's look at his last 10 games. 70% hit rate in the last 10 at 5.5 assists. Now, I mentioned things have gotten a little dicey for him here in the last 5. 2 straight games falling under 5.5 assists by quite a bit. Does have some games here in his last 5 where he went for 8, 6, and 8 respectively. So he can still get it done. I don't know what's going on with him in the last 2, but maybe this could be a good spot for him to come back. Against the Lakers in 3 previous games, 2 of which were from last season. He had 7 assists against the Lakers back on January 30th, so that was last season, but this year. And then against the Lakers on April 15th, last season, this year, 4 assists. So he has a 50-50 there, kind of a coin flip. Now, in this one previous matchup from this season, he had 6 assists. So he did cover the 5.5 number. So he can get it done against the Lakers. He has shown the ability to get it done. Here's where things look good for Marcus Smart and why I think this could be a sneaky spot for us to go ahead and click the over once again on Marcus Smart despite his struggles in the last 2 games. The Lakers do allow the 28th most assists per game. Or maybe I should rephrase that. They're 28th in assists allowed. Second most assists allowed per game by any team in the NBA. Nearly 26 assists given up per game. So maybe, I'm just saying, maybe this is a bounce back spot where we can target Marcus Smart in this situation here. Minutes are still looking good, getting over 32 minutes per game, so I'm not really worried about his court time, how much playing time he's getting. I'm just saying that, this guy's due to return back to where his averages are for the season. This looks like a prime situation, high totals, close spread. He's shown historically from this season that he can get it done against this Lakers squad. Maybe we go back to it. His projections today, 5.7 assists. Right now, he is even money at minus 115 over and minus 115 under on your favorite sportsbook. I'm just saying, give it a little thought. Look at some other sites. Compare the projections on Marcus Smart and his assists today. I think if there was ever a good bounce back spot, a good matchup, a good game script, this would be the one against the Lakers, right? Other guys to consider here, Al Horford, 2.5 assists, 60% hit rate. Kevin Durant has been a popular play. 5.5 assists, but he is a big minus 148 to go under 5.5 assists. Now, in his last 5 games, an 80% hit rate, going for 5 or more assists in 4 out of 5. So you could go back to KD. I am afraid that if Luka, Kristaps Porzingis, and Tim Hardaway Jr. sit tonight, that Kevin Durant might be in trouble in terms of covering a lot of his player props. Pulling up a projection for Durant, they've got him at 5.9, nearly 6 projected assists on Action Labs. So you would want to maybe lean toward the over on Kevin Durant. Worst case scenario, hopefully you tie or push on PrizePicks. Best case scenario, you hit the over, he goes for 6 or more dimes. So maybe Kevin Durant is an option for you. All right, low hit rate, guys. Patty Mills, 2.5 assists, just a 40% hit rate. Big betting favorite at minus 142 to go under. I'm actually surprised that PrizePicks still has him up at 2.5 and that they have not bumped him down to 2 assists. You can kind of get a look at his game logs here. He's gone for 2, 2, 2, 3, and 1. It's been a struggle for Patty Mills to get 3 or more assists in his last 5 games, doing so in just 20% of those games. LeBron James at 6.5 assists has been bumped down from 6.5 down to 6. Kind of get a look at his games here. I would probably take the over on LeBron James at 6 assists. Maybe worst case, you end up in a push, you end up in a tie, but he has gone for 6 or more, not 6 or less. So that's why I'm saying go over 6 or more in 5 straight games. So technically at 6 assists, this is a 100% hit rate at 6 dimes. Let me pull a projection up on LeBron James for you to help you out with this decision. They've got him at 7.8 dimes, close to 8. So yes, definitely click the over on LeBron James if you're going to click him at all. Maybe he ends up in a tie. Not the end of the world, but I think you do have to consider going over on King James at just 6 dimes. I think it's a decent play. Jason Tatum, 3.5 assists, not covering very well, 50% hit rate, but is a betting favorite to go over tonight in this matchup. James Harden, 9.5 assists, 50% hit rate, minus 112 to go under at 9.5. All right, that's enough about the assists. I think so far, guys, my favorite props right now are coming from this Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers game. What do you guys think? I think this is going to be a game that a lot of people are going to take props from. So let's talk about some 3-point makes here. Appreciate everybody who's joining me this morning. Run these likes up, guys. Run the likes up. Let's go for 60, 70 likes before the replay gang gets involved. You know the replay gang. They come in there with their brooms and they kind of clean things up for us. They get us over that 100 like goal. So if you guys can get it to about 60 or 70 likes this morning, I know the replay gang is going to come through and clean up the rest. So appreciate all of your support. Let's look at some 3-point props, shall we? I think we shall. For that, obviously, props.cash, easy way to pull up some 3-point makes. Looking at the top of the list here, Patty Mills, high hit rate, guys. 2.5 3-point makes, sitting at a 70% hit rate, minus 166 on the over. They're not giving us Patrick Mills tonight. They're just not going to do it, at least not yet. Jason Tatum at 2.5 3-point makes, 50% hit rate. We're not even getting him at a 50% hit rate, and that's because he's a minus 164 to go over 2.5 3-point makes. Not going to see Russell Westbrook up here either. Why? Because at 1.5 3-point makes, he's got just a 40% hit rate, and he's a massive betting favorite to go under at minus 200. LeBron James, he's been chucking up a bunch of threes at 2.5 3-point makes, though. Betting favorite to go under at minus 128. Let's look at the Kings game logs here. He's got a couple of games where he's went for 5, 4, but the rest of them, 1, 2, and 2. So more often than not, he has not been covering, has been going under 2.5 3-point makes. Al Horford, not on the board. We don't really have a lot of options here. Let's just be honest. Marcus Smart at 1.5 3-point makes has only covered in 30% of his last 10 games. Right now, he's even money. It's kind of a coin flip. He's gone for 0, 1, and 1 in 3 out of 5 games. And then the other 2 games, he's gone for 4 and 3. Which Marcus Smart shows up tonight? Who knows, right? So I'm probably going to stay away from this one because we're not getting any kind of a clear picture on Marcus Smart. I'll pull up a projection for you using Action Labs on their 3-point shots made category. I got Marcus Smart at 2.1 3-point makes. So They expect him to defy the odds here and go over 1.5, despite the fact that he is a betting favorite to go under. One guy that has been a flamethrower lately, an absolute flamethrower lately, might be my favorite three-point prop on the board at the moment. My man, Eazy-E. I don't think anyone calls him that except for me. Evan Fournier, the fireball, the French fireball. Evan Fournier, look at this, 3-4-3-4-3. This dude has been absolutely getting the green light since Kemba Walker has been taken out of the rotation. It seems like Evan Fournier and Alec Burks have just been chucking up some triples. So at 2 3-point makes, I think this could be a good option for you. Let's go ahead and pull Fournier up if we got a projection for him. Unfortunately, we don't on Action Labs this morning. But let's take a look at this matchup here. Maybe that will give us a little bit more info on Evan Fournier. Please do not Google his last name. You have been warned. I know some of you, you're not going to listen. You're going to go do it, but don't do it. Now, I'm seeing Evan Fournier's 3-point field goal line at 3.5. Is that right? Can anyone confirm? Because why he's at 3.5 3-point field goals made out on your favorite sports book, and he's at 2 3-point field goals made over on PrizePicks seems like a little bit of a mistake. What do you guys think? Chat? I don't know what's going on here. Is he really at 3.5 3-point makes out on most sports books, but he's at 2? But he's at 2 on PrizePicks? I don't know what's going on here, but this looks like it's like too good to be true. Is it an issue? Is there a glitch potentially? Let me refresh props.cash. But this one right here at 2 looks pretty good. I'm going to pull him back up here. There we go. Okay. So it was an issue with props.cash. He was at 3.5. I was going to say that seems like a little, but listen, even at 2.5 or 2, nonetheless, I'm liking what I'm seeing here with Evan Fournier. In the last 10 games, a 70% hit rate. But like I said, since Kemba Walker was pulled from the rotation, things have gotten really, really good here for Fournier. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row where he's gone for 3 or more. All we need him to go for is at least 2 today to tie or push, right? But 3 or more is something that he's done in 6 straight games. Actually, he's done this in 7 out of his last 8 games, so very, very high hit rates on this prop. Today, though, he is a minus 154 to go under 2.5. Why are people slapping the under so hard on Evan Fournier against the Spurs today? I have no idea. 2.7 is his average for the season, 3 in his last 10, 3.4 in his last 5. I think at 2, guys, we got to take a shot here at the over on Evan Fournier. I mean, I just don't get why they're putting all their money on the under. Spurs defense, not, anything to fear. They're kind of an average or middle of the road team at defending the 3-ball. 3-point field goal percentage allowed, they rank 16th. 3-pointers allowed, they rank 17th. So it's not like they're like some fearsome defense at guarding the 3-point shot. If we look at the total here, 211 implied points with the Knicks as 2-point favorites on the road. So this game has a decent total. And in a 3-game slate, you're going to have to take some shots somewhere, right? Why don't we take a shot here on Evan Fournier? Game doesn't look like it's going to be a blowout. Looks like it's going to stay close, competitive, go the distance. If we look at Evan Fournier's minutes in the last 5 games, about 29 minutes per game, pretty steady across the board. We look at his 3-point attempts in his last 5 games. He's up to about 8 threes attempted per game in the last 5 games. 7, 6, 8, 10, and 8. So if he's going to take that many, I like his chances of making at least 2, and we end up in a tie or push situation on PrizePicks. But look at these last 8 games. I wish we could get last 8 game averages. 10, 9, 7, 6, 8, 10, 8. So if he's going to take 8, 9, maybe even 10 threes tonight, and you're telling me he's going to go what? 1 for 8, 1 for 9? I don't know, man. It just seems like one of those props where we got to smash the over and live with the results. He's been too hot to hold. Just saying. All right, other guys to consider. I know I've been playing some Derek White lately. Came up short, but you know what happens, right? When a guy falls short, we go right back to his prop the very next day. And I don't mind this spot here for Derek White. 4 threes against Boston, 3 against Washington, 3 against Portland, 2 against Golden State, falls short against a tough Phoenix Suns team with 1 3-point make. I think he gets a little bit of an easier matchup tonight, though, going against the Knicks. Let's pull him up here. At 1.5 3-point makes, he is a minus 146 to go over. So I'm loving the fact that the money's coming in very strong here on the over at 1.5. If we look at the last 10 games, 5 for 10. So the hit rates aren't great here for Derek White, but this is more about the matchup for me. Derek White against this New York Knicks team, they rank 25th, guys, in total three-pointers allowed. So they're giving up a lot of volume when it comes to three balls. And then they're 19th in three-point field goal percentage allowed. So they're like one of the 11 worst teams in terms of three-point field goal percentage allowed. They're giving up over a 35% three-point field goal percentage. So I think we go back to Derek White coming off of a little bit of a dud game against Phoenix where he shot the ball poorly. Maybe tonight he pops back up in a much easier matchup against this New York Knicks team. If we look at the amount of threes that he gets, the dude in his last 5 games has seen a huge increase, a huge output in terms of three-point attempts. He's getting nearly 8 three-pointers up per game in his last 5 games. 9, 7, 8, 8, and 8. He went 1 for 8 last night against Phoenix. I don't think he goes 1 for 8 tonight against New York. I think 2 for 8 is definitely doable here for Mr. White. So I'm going to go back to this prop. I think I'm going to go back to this prop. He's projected for 2.3 3-point makes here against the Knicks. Boom. Take Evan Fournier and Derek White. 2-pick power play. Smash the overs on both. I'm just saying, you want a little same game parlay? You got it. Evan Fournier, Derek White. Not a bad look. Not a bad look. Kristaps Porzingis, he's been a guy who at one point was going over at 1.5 threes. Look at his last 5 games, though. Just 1 out of 5. Probably not going to go there on KP6 personally. I think my favorite 2 plays are right here. We've already talked about them. Evan Fournier, Derek White. Boom. I think that's as easy as it gets. We don't overthink it. We ride the hot hand. They've been showing good form in the last 5 to 8 games, both of them. I think that's a good spot. All right, guys. Let's go back to the chat. Wow, Remy dropping a super chat this morning. Thank you so much, Remy, for leaving that super chat. Remy says, thank you for all the hard work you do and the wonderful community. I'm having fun and making money. Well, Remy, I know it was just a matter of time before we got you in to the Patreon side of things. I know you were active in Discord. You were kind of in those public channels in Discord. I knew that we needed to get you into the private quarters, the private confines of the Patreon community. So I appreciate you finally joining. You say it's 100% worth it if anyone is on the bubble about it. Yeah, I think just winning one $10 2-pick power play, it pays for itself. At $20, it's very affordable. Like I said, you have one winning night and it's over and done with, and then you move on and make some profits. But that's going to be it, man. I mean, I think we covered all of the props that we can on a 3-game slate. Let's run through the chat real quick. If you have any plays, start dropping them for me. I'm not going to scroll all the way up to the top, but let's go ahead and go through the ones that you guys are liking here. Salad Fingers. I've never seen you in here before, but man, I love that name. For whatever reason, Salad Fingers just sounds like a hell of a name. I appreciate that. Fournier likely at least tied. Yeah, I think Fournier ends up in a tie at worst. I think Fournier and Derek White make a lot of sense going over on both of their 3-point props. Kevin says, yeah, you messed me up with that easy. Hey, Evan Fournier is a gangster, man. Don't sleep on Evan Fournier. Allen's liking LeBron assists. He thinks LeBron's assists look good today, and Fournier threes are his favorite plays. Let's go look at LeBron's assists. I think we talked about him briefly. They've bumped him down from 6.5 down to 6. But at 6 assists, I think you have to take the over here. And, worst case, you end up in a tie, a push. So I don't mind that whatsoever. Yes, said I favor Evan Fournier. Check Al Horford's threes. Cameron, let's take a look at Al Horford's threes. He was an underplay for me. He's not up on the PrizePicks board, but we talked about Al Horford at just a 40% hit rate at 1.5 3-point makes. He is currently a betting favorite at minus 156 to go under. So I think Al Horford, you're going to probably want to take the under on him. I do have a projection here of 1.8 expected 3-point makes for Al Horford. So hopefully that helps you out. Alan says, everybody watching should hit that like button. Absolutely, Alan. I agree with you. We are in the same boat on that. I think everybody should hit that like button too. I just do. I'm with you. I'm on board with that, Alan. Let's see here. What else are you guys talking about this morning? They just added Mitchell Robinson. What do we like about Mitchell Robinson? If he's at 5.5 points, I'll take a shot at him. Oh, he is? He's at 5.5 points. He's covered this 5.5 in 3 out of his last 5 games. Falls short against a tough Denver Nuggets team. Falls short against a tough Clint Capella. But gets it done in some other matchups here against Phoenix with 7, Brooklyn with 8, Chicago with 9. Maybe we take a shot on Mitchell Robinson. Let's pull up a projection on him. Maybe that'll help things out here. Help you guys make a decision here. Oh, he's not up on Action Labs just yet, unfortunately. Let's try his last name. Nope. No Mitchell Robinson projection, but check some of those other sites that we've talked about in previous streams, and maybe you get a read on Mitchell Robinson. It's cool, though. PrizePicks is adding some more props this morning. J-Red and Eric are both saying Marcus Smart over on points. I believe in recent days, Marcus Smart's points has been a pretty good way to go. We mentioned maybe we go back to Marcus Smart's assist at 5.5, but look at his points here in the last 5 games, taking on more of a scoring role in the last 5 games, taking 15, 21, 15, 17, 80% hit rate, guys. And he's doing it really well. When he does hit, he goes over by a lot. He's not just getting like 12 points. He's going over by quite a bit. So let's pull up a projection on Smart here as I run through the lightning round. 13.3 projected points today. So they do like the over on Marcus Smart against the Lakers. I think this is a good matchup. We know the Lakers defense, not a very good one. Despite all the star names that they have on the team, they do not defend very well. So you could go back to Marcus Smart over. Buddy Dem, member of the Discord community, I recognize that name. Luka's assists, 7.5 assists on Luka Doncic versus Brooklyn. Do we know for sure that Luka Doncic is going to play today? He was on the game time decision list. But yeah, at 7.5 dimes has gone over in 4 of 5 games. That's an 80% hit rate on Luka. Let me go ahead, pull up his projection on Action Labs for you. They don't have one for Luka from what it looks like. They'll probably update this throughout the day. I think they're probably on the wait and see approach with Luka, Kristaps Porzingis being game time decisions, but nothing up yet for Luka Doncic in his assists. But last 5 games, 80% hit rate. I can understand why you're liking some Luka assists. George is saying Mitchell Robinson's rebounds. What do you think about Mitchell Robinson's rebounds? Well, we talked about his points briefly because we liked him the other day at 5.5 points. He's not known to be a scorer, so one thing that he does do well is rebound the basketball. So in his last 5 games, he's gone 4 for 5, 80% hit rate in terms of covering his rebound prop of 6.5. Let's see if I can pull up a rebound prop here for Mitchell Robinson. Dang, no, nothing yet. Let's try refreshing. Maybe they've uploaded some new props. Go to rebounds, go to Robinson. Boom, there we go. 9 rebounds today. According to Action Labs, projected for 9 boards. He's a betting favorite at minus 135 at the moment to cover 6.5 rebounds tonight against the San Antonio Spurs and my man Jakob Poeltl. Let's go back to that Luka assist prop real quick. Maybe they've got that up. Nope, still nothing on Doncic. Nope. All right. Well, anyway, Mitchell Robinson, 6.5 boards. The over is looking like a good way to go on him. Pretty good hit rate. Probably like him over rebounds instead of points. Scrolling through the chat, seeing what else we got this morning here. Aldridge 20 plus. What does that mean? 20 plus what? Fantasy points? Buddy them. I like Marcus Smart's points already. Have a ticket with him in it. Good look. Good look. Emmanuel says, thoughts on Anthony Davis under on threes? Well, we don't think of Anthony Davis as a 3-point shooter. So initially, my initial gut reaction to that question is under. But he does have a couple of games here in his last 5 where he's went for 1 or 2 3-point makes. Let's see if I got a projection for AD in his 3-point makes tonight. Using Action Labs, we are looking at it. He's at 0.6. 0.6, barely over 0.5, a betting favorite at -120 and -125 on various sites to go over and cover this prop. So probably not going to touch it. It's just one of those ones where it's boom or bust. It's like betting on a home run or betting on a touchdown run or something like that. I don't know. I never liked those 0.5 3-point make props. I'm going to stay away from that one. Craig says, I like Murray Murray 7 assists to go over. He's been on fire. Absolutely. We know Murray has been an absolute heater lately. He's gone over 7 assists or 7 or more in 4 straight games. So that's an 80% hit rate. He does fall a little short against Boston here with just 6 assists. Tonight against New York, though, should be a pretty friendly matchup for Murray. Let's go ahead and pull up a projection for you. He's at 7.1, guys, 7.1. So you might end up in a push or tie situation at the custom prop number of 7 assists on PrizePicks. Buddy's saying I like 80 under 0.5 threes too. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go there. Mitchell Robinson over on rebounds. Pick'ems is liking the over on Mitch Robinson's boards. I like that as well. Remy says Keldon Johnson over 13.5 points. Past 6 games, his floor is 13. We don't talk a whole lot about Keldon Johnson here, but at 13.5 points in a pretty friendly matchup, maybe we go back to KJ. 13.5 has been a number he's covered in, 3 out of 5. So 60% hit rate for Keldon Johnson. I'll do you a favor, a solid here, and I'll pull up a projection for Keldon if we've got one. And he's at 16.5 projected points according to Action Lab. So that puts him over 13.5 by 3 points. That's a pretty big differential. I think it's worth taking a shot on Keldon Johnson. What else, chat? What else do we have going this morning? Westbrook rebounds, only 20% hit rate in the last 5. Is that an underplay? Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Russell Westbrook's rebounds. I think we talked about him earlier. They had him projected for some kind of crazy number. Was that rebounds or was that his assist I'm thinking of? Maybe it was his assist. But they've got him at like 10.8 projected rebounds, so nearly 11 projected rebounds against Boston today. I don't know, guys. That seems like a trap to me. The last 5 games have been pretty ugly in terms of rebounds for Russ. Don't think I want to touch that one. I think I like Mitch Robinson in terms of rebound plays. We talked Jason Tatum being a really nice look. He pulled in double-digit boards versus LA in his last matchup. I think matchup-wise, speaking of matchups, LaMarcus Aldridge versus the Dallas Mavericks, big guys versus the Mavericks has been a move that we've been going back to all season long. And I've already talked about Mavericks are giving up over 17.7 rebounds, total rebounds per game to the center position, which is LaMarcus Aldridge's position. So I think this is a good spot to potentially target LMA over REBs. Even though his hit rates and stuff don't look very sexy, very appealing. We looked at his last 5 games already, 9, 7. He's only covered this twice out of the last 5 games. I think this is a matchup that you should not ignore, LaMarcus Aldridge. What other ones are you guys talking about? We're trying to buzz through these real quick, get you on your way. We've already been here for over an hour on a 3-game slate. Crazy, crazy, crazy. MF June's mentioning Keldon Johnson over 1.5 assists. We liked Keldon Johnson's points. I don't know about his assists. He's gone over, 3 out of 5, 60% hit rate. Okay, you could dig into this prop a little bit deeper, but I'll just pull up a projection for you if I've got one, just to help you out. Give you a look here, 2.2. So they like him to go over 1.5 assists. J-Red, we'll talk about Tatum's fantasy points over in Discord. How about that? I'll do some deep dive on fantasy points. I went 4 for 5 on my 5-pick fantasy point entry. I'm going to try and run that back tonight. for you guys in the Patreon/Discord. So Keldon Johnson, maybe at 1.5 assists. I think you lean toward the over on that one. They got Westbrook fantasy points at 39. I think he plays at least 35 to 37 minutes tonight in a pace-up game. Yep. Don't mind that. Matthew Farb says, should we take Tatum over on free throws when they come up? Yes, Matthew. If you're just joining, Tatum over on free throws against the Lakers. Lakers give up a ton of free throws, so definitely consider doing that. Pick'ems, Fournier under rebounds. Fournier is not a guy that comes to mind when I talk rebounds, but 2.5, he has gone over in 2 out of 5, so that's a 40% hit rate. Let's get you a projection real quick on Fournier. I don't know that I'm going to go there, but if you're liking it for whatever weird reason, maybe you take it. He is projected for 2.9, so nearly 3 rebounds, and he's a minus 125 to go under. So we got projections say go over. We've got bettors saying go under with their hard-earned money that they're putting down on the under at 2.5. And we got game logs that are just all over the place. So I'm not getting a clear read on this prop, so I'm not going there, like I said, on Evan Fournier's rebounds. Murray assist. Yes, Edwin, thank you for spamming the chat with your basketballs. We've talked Murray assist being a good spot. I like the way that you think. MF June, definitely, Matthew. Definitely take the Tatum over free throws when they come up. For sure. Yeah, Jeff B, we talked Pirtle props. I like the rebounds. I think 9.5 could be a little bit steep, but if you're going to take any of his props, I think the rebounds would probably be the way to go here. Could be a potentially tough matchup for Pirtle against Mitchell Robinson, but they do have him projected for 9.8. And he's also a betting favorite at 9.5 boards at minus 130 and minus 135 on a couple different sports books. So I don't mind you taking the over on Pirtle. Moan says Bembry rebounds. He's not up on the board for PrizePicks, but maybe you're playing somewhere else. So what I can do is get you a projection here on Bembry. He's projected for 4.5 rebounds, which puts him exactly at where you're going to find him out on all the sports books. So for me, Bembry, not seeing an edge there, probably not going to go there. CM Moore says Julius Randle fantasy score. Randle's been doing pretty good lately. He's been doing better lately. He's at 41 fantasy points against San Antonio today. Just looking at his last 3 games, he's gone over 41 fantasy points. Here's what I like to do. I like to pull up a projection for Julius Randle and his fantasy points. We could do that using Fantasy Labs. So we will type in Randle's name. He's projected for 42.1, not seeing a significant edge, but the lean would be toward the under on Julius Randle here. Another thing that you could do is go to Fantasy Pros, pull up the power forward position, which is Julius Randle's position. Come over to this FanDuel points column at the very end here, and you can go find the San Antonio Spurs and see how many fantasy points per game that they give up to opposing power forwards. We have to go pretty far down the no, they're right here. 45.3 FanDuel points per game given up to opposing power forwards. So this is a pretty soft matchup here for Julius Randle. I would say that, yeah, maybe you take a shot on the over. He's projected to go over. The matchup against the Spurs indicates that they're not very tough. They're pretty giving, in other words, to power forwards and fantasy points. So, yeah, maybe you take a shot with some Julius Randle over fantasy points. I'll take a couple more here, and then we'll get you guys on your way. What else were we talking? Robinson's points. We looked at Robinson's points. He was projected to go over. If Luka plays, that's a no-go on those assists. Buddy says, I love KJ, but he's so iffy. I agree with you. That's why I don't play a lot of Keldon Johnson props. Kevin saying that Anthony Davis is a big minus 125 favorite to go under 9.5 rebounds. Good point there. Yeah, definitely check out Number Fire if you want some free projections, free props. Zamir says, LeBron going to be the Taco Tuesday Twitter PrizePicks. Okay, so maybe you know something that we don't know, Zamir, about that Taco Tuesday. Kevin saying, Mitchell Robinson's rebounds look good. Don't bet on the AD threes. I'm not going to. Number Fire, Matthew, is a free site where you can go get projections for fantasy points. Make sure you're using FanDuel projections, and you can get like single stat player props. But yeah, number fire completely free. Derek White fantasy score. All right, that'll be the last one, and then I'm going to get up out of here. CM Morris, for you, my friend, I will look up Derek White's fantasy score. Derek White, 33 projected fantasy points. He is at 30.5 today against the New York Knicks. He has gone over 30.5 in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of his last 5 games, an 80% hit rate. And then we go and look at the point guard position here, and we sort by FanDuel, or fantasy points in this case, and we find the New York Knicks. They give up 47.4 fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. So Derek White kind of takes on a combo guard role, him and Murray. So we can also look at the shooting guard fantasy points allowed per game by the New York Knicks. They give up 41, almost 42 fantasy points. So yes, I think Derek White and DeJounte Murray both look like good fantasy point plays today. So that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. We spent over an hour talking about just three NBA games. Leave a like on the video on your way out. Let's go for 100 or more. Let's do it. And if you're not subscribed yet, please make sure that you do before you leave. I appreciate everybody who subbed this morning. Joshua Irby, Chris Larson, The Beast, DW5 with the sub. Jaden subbed this morning as well. Alexander leaving that super chat. Appreciate that. So thank you to everyone who subbed during the live stream this morning. I have not forgotten about you, and I appreciate you doing so. All right, guys, this is CJ. We'll catch you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. Good luck tonight if you're playing out on PrizePicks. Peace out.